Hey, you guys, welcome to Acrylic Painting Monday with Ginger Cook. And today we're going to be talking again about the color wheel, how you want to use it. We're also going to be painting these daffodil and the, oh gosh, what is this? Hyacinths.
Hyacinths, yeah.
Hyacinth flowers are beautiful this time of year. They smell so nice. These are just gorgeous. And we're going to talk about why this works and so forth. And we're going to start with because this is a premiere, and we can answer questions in the live chat, which John and I will be on. And we're going to do a two-part thing. We're going to start with the background, dry that, and then we'll go ahead and trace this on with the flowers, all right? So we're starting off with a 9x12 canvas, and I've just taken I've just marked where this blue area is here, okay? All right. And then, so that's all I've done there. And also, by the way, there is a companion piece that is going to go with this. If you're a red or purple member in our online art school, paintingwithginger.com, acrylicpaintingwithginger.com. And the reason you want the companion is no tutorial for this one, but what did you learn here that would allow you to make this, right? And don't you think these would look just beautiful hanging side by side together somewhere? And that's one of the things that particularly, rather than a one of, you've got not only do you find out what you've learned by doing a companion piece, but also it's a nice way to present your art. Okay, so I'm going to put this away for a minute, and we know that we're going to be doing it.
Do you want to say hello to the fans first?
Oh yeah, let's just take a minute and say hello to the fans. Okay, thanks, John.
Well, at least somebody's paying attention tonight.
Yeah, so I get so involved in my projects, man. I forget you're here, right? So listen, welcome to the channel. We hope that you're having a good time tonight. We leave the chats up, and let's keep the chats to the art, and I've thought of a new idea. We did it last week, and I think it's that you're part of our art. When you ask your questions, you're part of the tutorial. Someone will read your question, maybe our answer, and you're going to help somebody else. And if you have an insight into this painting, if you type it, someone else will benefit. We're going to do, this is sort of this, more than a group chat, it's a collaboration of great minds getting together and painting this. And I'm your team leader. How's that? So,
ooh, I love it.
Let's go with that attitude and see what we can share today and learn and help others learn. All right?
And have some fun doing it.
All right, so I'm going to get back down to here.
Now, one more thing, Queenie.
What?
Are you going to start painting yet?
No, I want to just show how I've got it this is a two-tone business, but it's blended. There's not two stripes. There's a stripe down here, but these have to be blended. So I just kind of want to mark just basically, where I'm going to keep with the blue and where I'm going to keep with the peach, all right? Now now we're going to come to our palette. We used this for our bunnies last week, and it's still good. This week's article on how to save money in the Gazette, if you haven't read it, it came out today, how to save money when you're painting. And one of the big ways to save money is to don't waste paint. Buy the good stuff, don't waste it. And one of the ways you can not waste it, and I'm going to kind of look up to me for a second, John, because this is important. There's like three main ways not to waste paint. One is learn how to mix the colors, because if you can learn to mix the colors, then you're not throwing all kinds of paint away that didn't work, okay? And two is buy professional paint, because you'll use a lot less of it. In the long run, it saves you money. Is there an advantage to buying a big tube of paint, say, over a small one? If Holbein made big tubes of paint, I'd buy those, because if you do the math on them, you almost get a half a tube or maybe a whole tube in a big thing. Now, for those of you who are sock folders, if you can paint with jars, you really save money, but I do not have the discipline to not dip colored paint into white and ruin a whole jar of paint. But if you're talking about wanting to save money, those are some really good tips. And then the final one, back down here on the palette, okay? This is a Masterson Stay Wet palette. And it will keep your paint wet for a month. Really, honestly, it works that well. And so you're not throwing away paint. And you can mix on a wax paper palette like this, but you keep your paints here. Now, if you don't have one of these, all right, okay, Ginger, but I don't have one of those. Well, I'm going to suggest another trick that somebody told me years ago. One of our studios. So back over here on my palette, John. Okay,
I'm back
on my painting, right? Take a paper towel and accordion fold it like this.
Accordion folded.
Like that. And what you do is you put this in water and then wring it out and get it wet. And then you put it around a wax paper palette, okay? And you put your daubs of paint on this and they will stay wet, at least for as long as you're painting the painting, and won't dry out on you. So those are your fabulous painting save money tips.
Man, right there, before you even start the video.
Yeah. So if you just got this and then did a thumbs up and say, yeah, I got to subscribe to this lady. She's great. Yeah, well, it's true. And so we're going to go with that. Now, back to the...
Back to the palette now?
Back to the palette. Meanwhile, back at the palette, we have titanium white, zinc white, cad yellow light. If you don't have it, you can put a little white into yellow. It's not white the same, but it's good enough. Cad yellow medium is a must-have. Raw sienna or ochre. This is what titanium white again. This is cadmium orange. If you don't have that, you can take red and yellow and make an orange. Or this is cad red light, and you can put yellow in there and make a light bright orange. This is magenta, which you can't make. Burnt sienna. This was that mauve color I showed you last week from Holbein, and we said you could make something like that with ultramarine blue and magenta. And then this is dazzling purple. Now that is a color you really can't make, and the reason we don't use it, we used to use it early on, is it has a tendency to glare when you take photographs of your painting, but it is a really true purple color. It is a major, and of course these flowers are purple. And so I wanted to use that. And then we've got ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. If you didn't have that, phthalo blue and yellow will make you some good greens. So, and then zinc white. Okay, so that's what we've got. Now we're going to start with a wide brush, and we're going to come down here. You'll notice that.
Is that your 3/4 or 5/8?
That's the 3/4, and you'll notice that we're going to start with the. I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to start with the blue, and I'm going to take some white paint. I'll just put it up here because I'm going to mix quite a bit of paint. I'll just take some of my golden white paint here, and a little tiny bit like kryptonite. Phthalo blue is like kryptonite, so I'm going to take a little tiny bit of phthalo blue, just like hardly any, put it over here, and then I'm going to mix that together, okay? And it's just like 99% white and a little bit of phthalo blue. Do you see how bright that is? Now, some of you have said, gosh, Ginger, I don't like stuff that bright, okay? The complement of blue is orange. Okay, it's kind of orange. So if you put a little tiny bit of red in it, like this, right? Just going to show you, like next to nothing again, next to nothing. It will tone that blue down just a bit. It'll gray it. If you do the opposite of the color wheel, it will tone this blue down. It's not quite as bright as what we had. Now, I love bright colors, but you may not. But that's one of the tricks. Now, what you do when you do this is you scoop it all up once you've decided you like what you have. And I don't think that's going to be enough, but we'll see, okay? And then we're going to dampen the brush, which we normally don't do. We're going to wet the brush. And then I'm going to come in here like this, and I'm going to just...
well, basically, you're just putting a first coat underpainting on there.
Well, I think I can get away with this, John. The background is just sort of is a peach color. It's just sort of white, yellow, and red, like a peach. Okay? Now, if I come all the way down here, you see I can kind of make this work like that. Now, if I take some zinc white and add to this mixture like that, I can move it around a little bit, and it will get thinner as I go over here. This is called a gradated background. Okay? So now I'm going to just take the zinc white, come over here like that. You see what I mean? The zinc is sort of transparent, okay? So then keep these brush strokes kind of long, right, like that, okay? Now the next color is a peach. So peach is made with white and yellow and red, okay? So we're going to take a little bit of cad yellow medium, okay, and a little bit of pyro red, okay, and white, and we're going to make this peach color, okay? You see that? We almost need a little bit more of those colors. It's not as strong. These reds are nothing as strong as phthalo blue, I tell you. Okay,
That's kryptonite.
It's kryptonite, right? We talk about that. It's really strong, okay?
A drop of that goes a long ways.
Let's put a little bit more of the red in there. So there's my peach color, okay? And I want it a little bit pinker, so I'm going to add some magenta.
That's almost a flesh tone right there.
Yeah, I'm going to add some magenta. So now I've got it pretty good like this, right? It's a little stronger than I want. It's a little bit darker than I want. So let's scrape it all up here like that. These are good flesh tones, but I don't have quite enough white in that, okay? So I've got a dirty brush. Let's just put some white. Now, if I mix my brush in with this like that, and then kind of do this together, that's about the pink I want, right? Like that, not quite that dark, all right? See how I did that? So I'm going to come over here like this, come all the way down to my blue line. And I'm going to do the same thing when I get over here. When I get to the middle, I'm going to grab my zinc white and overlap that, and then just overlay this in here. And look how that works. And it kind of, you got this beautiful, beautiful blended line like that. Isn't that cool?
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, and it didn't take all that much to do it. Now, then you might want this paint again. So let's just take it all up off the thing. This is how you save money on paint. And let's just put this over here, okay? Okay, so we want this color again. And this palette will be good. I might want it tomorrow for another painting. So see, if I transfer it over there, then it's pretty good, right?
Now, this is one of their smaller Stay Wet palettes. They make 3 different sizes or 4.
Yeah, they make a nice big one where you can mix on it too, right? But just we just don't have enough room. So now this brush is going to go in water, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dry this, all right? That's
Lock it in.
One of the reasons we wanted to do this one as a premiere, because I wanted to dry it. All right, now I'm going to use a clean brush because that one had water on it. And I'm going to mix another color here. I'm just going to, we've dried this so I can put this up here like that. And I'm just going to start with a new piece of paper, so you're not confused. So we're going to start with white, but we really want a sort of a combination. This blue is in the picture is really it's almost a combination of phthalo and ultramarine together, okay? So because it's on the other side of the grayscale, what's on the darker side of the grayscale, we're going to start with the blues. So let's get up.
We're
going to start with the blues. So let's see, what do we got for a palette knife up here? Guess I have to clean this one. Okay, so just kind of wipe that palette knife off. Been in water. So these palette knives are from Jerry's Artarama, and I like them. They're in the shape the ones that Bob Ross used to make, similar, but they don't rust, which is rather nice, don't you think?
I think so.
So we're going to start with a little ultramarine blue and a little phthalo. Okay. Those are our 2 blues together. Now I'm going to sneak in here like this. And what you do is you don't mix it in like you're making cookies, in the middle of the color. You sneak up the color. You sneak the color. Does that make sense? You figure out what the formula is, how much of that blue you want. See that? See how I'm doing that? How much of that blue do I want? That's pretty good. So I think I can mix a little more. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit heavier on the phthalo than the ultramarine and add some more white. Okay. Now I'm getting pretty close, right? Now remember, acrylics dry darker. So I'm bringing a little bit more color, right? And then I'm going to grab a little tiny bit of that orange that I talked about, right? Again, I don't put it in the middle. I put it on the side in case it doesn't work out, in case it dulls it too much. Okay? Here's our blue. Don't you think I've kind of graded it down enough where it's like this, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Once you get really good at mixing colors, it gets fun, right? Now I'm just going to scrape this all off. And I think I can use the brush that had the blue on it, because if any more shows up, that's all right. I'm going to come across here like this, and I'm going to just, maybe I'll just turn my painting over like that. I'm going to come up just a little bit above the line. I don't want to tape it because I don't want it that perfect. Just a little bit above the line, like that. Use the palette, just take it right off the palette knife. Okay. Now let's turn this around. Looks pretty good. Yeah? Justin, yes?
Looks like the background.
And then there's a little bit of the zinc white right in here, kind of toward the middle, right in here like that. There's just something a little bit lighter right here. Wipe off the paint off the brush and just get a little zinc white. This little bit right here is a little bit lighter. All right. Say a little titanium. Just a little bit lighter right in here. Not that important. Okay. So that's and then there's going to be some shadows on here too, but that's all we would do in this layer, okay? This is all we would do. So now we're going to dry all this, and then well, one thing we're going to do is I see where I didn't quite get the edge here. I've already got blue on my brush, yeah? Okay. So if I wipe the brush off and then just go into my white paint like this, I can make that light color again. Do you see how I'm doing that? I didn't quite get it on the edge. There you go. All right, so yay, happy days, right? All right, and then we will really dry this, because we're going to then go ahead and use we're going to transfer. This is what the actual colors are looking like. You see that? Actually, I see in the real colors here like that, I've got some, I can actually do a little more. I've got some blue-green streaks in here, and I've got a little bit of orange. So I'm going to, I can do the blue-green now. I was going off my traceable, not my reference. Well, that's a mistake, isn't it?
Yes.
So, remember, I just mixed this color. Okay, so a little bit of phthalo green. Okay. A little bit of ultramarine blue. Okay. Just pull that up here like that. So this is kind of streaky color I want there. Yes and yes. A little bit of zinc white. Okay, so we have that darker green streak right there, and then the other one has a little bit of this, we have a little bit of the orange. So we're just going to take some yellow and red, or maybe some yellow and orange, right? And let's mix it over here like this. Let's take a little bit of that orange color. Let's see. Okay, so there's orange, but that's a little bright, okay? I want some white in it. Okay. Then I'm going to wipe off the excess paint, and I'm going to just streak this down here like that, very gently. Just put these colors in here like that. Barely touch it.
Like you have a sunburn.
Yeah, just a little bit, not too much. There's a little bit even over here too. There, see? I mean, we're not talking about much. And if we have to put some darker orange like next to there, we can do that when the painting's done. But anyway, that's what you do. You kind of adjust how do you adjust the color, right? Now we're going to give this a good dry, and then we're going to put the picture on, the transfer on. You know, when John and I first got together and became business partners 5 years ago, and he and his wife were living in Michigan, and I was living in Houston, Texas. And through very sad circumstances, his wife passed away not too long after that. And in her memory, because she was such a generous person, Karen was such a generous person, we started a foundation in our art academy when we got that going. And it's called the Karen Little Scholarship Fund. And when you donate to that, you help other artists join the academy for a week, a month, 6 months, a year, and give them a chance for an art education that might change their life. You know, you can say, hand someone a fish they eat for a day, you know, teach them to fish, they eat for a lifetime. Help someone to learn to paint and really fulfill their destiny as an artist, and consider contributing to the Karen Little Foundation Scholarship for Artists. And guess what? For every dollar you put in, we match it in our donations to help other artists prosper and really learn to paint. All right, now we're back on. And I've sworn about the tape and everything. Okay, so this has got to be, I want to make sure that this is even here, right? And this is coming up here. So nothing is fastened on here. If it isn't fastened on, this is all, I'm almost tempted to take the scissors and just, because this isn't staying up, Don.
Here we go.
Just, here, maybe I can just tuck it underneath here like that. Maybe not.
You know you're probably nuts, right? Yes, you're doing this on purpose. That needs to be there. That needs to be there. Give me some of your stupid tape. All you need.
Okay, but this needs to be, but this is not staying on. This is moving. You see this?
What's moving?
This bottom of this is moving. This is not staying on the canvas. Okay. All right. See? All right. There. Very. If this all moves, it just, none of it, you know, not good, right?
That's how you get impressionistic paintings.
Well, you don't want to make the wrong impression, John. That's when you're making the wrong impression.
Now you might suggest, why are you using two different colors there, Ginger?
Well, because I can't, because the red won't show up well over the
blue?
Over the blue. Now, I hate to use red for this reason, in that we've got these yellow daffodils, and so if you do not spray this and you were to use red, what's going to happen is that you'll have a red outline, and you don't particularly want that, right? I love daffodils. We used to have them in Washington State growing up.
They're pretty little flowers.
Now, these are very simple flowers. When you break them down, they're just, flowers are really just, roses are kind of complicated for people, but for the most part, flowers are just little star shapes with rounded petals. Some flowers are going to be underneath others when you paint them. Some will not be as much detail. You see, like all this blue. I'm using a red pen so I can see where I've gone. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Yeah, that's going to work. Good to know, right? A lot of taping on this paper to keep it from moving. But you can see where we've got you can see the vase down here. And here like that. And you can see the rest of it, right? And you can see where the flowers go. So that's good, right? Now John's going to take this out and spray this so that the red doesn't smear and color in my yellow daffodils with the color I don't want. Can I show them the spray? We're using this golden satin varnish, and we just mist it. We don't really spray it, just barely touch it, right, with the mist.
Did it come off? Please. And show the back. Now we got it stuffed too.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Now I want you to point you out to the back of this. John has taped some styrofoam in here to give me a nice surface to paint on, so this is nice and hard. That helps. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take artist tape and we're going to just hold it. We'll hold it in 2 fingers, you know, there like that, and then bottom, and there you go. We're going to paint in the vase like so.
So that's
Not quite right. So you gotta put it where you know you want it. Pretty sure my glasses on, I could see. Oh gosh, that's so much better. Just amazing.
I'm not sure that line you drew in was straight when you did that.
What?
And that is that tapering in?
Yeah, it tapers in a little bit.
Okay.
But it doesn't taper in. Yeah, it tapers in a little bit. Does it taper in this much on this side? A little bit. Yeah, just a little. Tapers in just a little. Okay. Finish it down. All right, so now we're going to take a small little angle brush. We also use angle brushes. We occasionally use smudgies, but mostly use angles. And what we want to create here is we want to take some blue, just some ultramarine blue here, and come down around the base like this. All right, and then I've got paint on both sides, and I'm just going to go right next to this like this and drag I'm going to overlap the tape and drag that down like that on this side. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of zinc white and phthalo blue, maybe some titanium, that's not quite light enough. Okay, and I want to come in here like this. I'm going to cover up my most of those particular ones here on this side of the vines and everything, because I'm gonna just cover those up a little bit. Wipe the paint off, get a little bit more white. That's going to be the green. Going to come next to here like this, and just the white, and come next to here like that. There you go. A little bit on this side. Phthalo green. A little bit of this color too. That's pretty. Okay. So I'm going to rinse the brush. And I want a little bit of purple and white. Okay. Put that right in here like that. I need more white in that. Let's try some zinc. Okay. There's a little of that purple right in here too, where this is going to cross over like that. There's a little bit of that purple color right there. Let's take a little bit more white. That's had a chance to dry just a little bit, so now I can do some more streaks on this side. Okay. So I'm going to dry that.
Because you can.
Yeah, because it's going to do that, right? I'm going to take some yellow and phthalo green and mix a kind of a nice little, just cad yellow medium and phthalo green. And a tiny bit of orange, just a little bit of orange to dull that down just a little bit. And we're going to say that there's a green stem right in here that goes down like this. And then we've got some green ones coming up this way. Let's get a little bit more green and ultramarine blue, the phthalo blue and phthalo green. Make a darker green, okay? See how I've got that nice and dark right there? That's coming down to here like this. So we're bringing this up to here. There's just this top of the glass right here. I'm going to take this tape off. Because I know I've got some green that's coming up here like that next to my flower. It comes through the top of the glass. We've got another green piece coming up this way. And what differentiates these, okay, is the color, okay? Whether there's more yellow or anything or something dark. We know there's something dark right in here, so we'll put some more blue with that. Something really dark right in here like that before the water line. And on this side. And up here, there's something very dark, so we're going to get some more blue in that. So wherever you kind of have to go around these flowers. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of yellow on that and add a warmer color right there. Put some yellow on top of that. Cad yellow. Let's see, just wipe off the paint, then just get some cad yellow right like this. That goes here like this. And then we're back into the dark green stem right here. And let's go some more phthalo blue here, kind of differentiate the colors. Everybody ends up in this corner here like that. Well, some more, I'm going to take a little bit of yellow oxide with that and put it on this one. Kind of, just that's got red in it, and red will gray green because it's opposite the color wheel, and there's some red in that yellow oxide. Okay, so then we know that there's something kind of different colored right in here like that. And there's a little bit of this green coming up here too, like that. Okay. And we've got some dark green coming up here like this in this flower, and right up in here this is a leaf here. There's a little bit of green in this area. So because we're going to be dealing with other colors, we're going to really dry that. You see how you have to do this in pieces. You can't rush. You know who you are.
Hey there, fellow art enthusiasts. We have a special offer for a limited time only. Calling all Canadians, Australians, and seniors. This special offer is for you. Are you ready to unleash your inner artist? Join as a member on our Acrylic Art Lounge website for an unbelievable $13.95 a month. With over 30 tutorials under 2 hours and new ones added monthly, you'll be creating masterpieces in no time. But hurry! This special offer won't last forever. Click the link in the description below and let's paint together. See you in the Acrylic Art Lounge.
You know, we haven't talked about this hair dryer in a long time. I got this for my hair, and it makes way too much wind to dry my hair with, but it is so lightweight. It's the lightest weight hair dryer, and I was so excited about this. I put it in the Amazon store. This was like half the weight of my other one. And then really, you have 3 speeds, and you can be cold and hot and hotter. You can just be cold. Just push that button and we get cold.
Excuse me.
What?
When you run that, they can't hear you.
Oh, so you've got the 3 speeds, and you can push this button and get cold, and you can get 3 different temperatures. It's very lightweight. All right. So I don't know part of that, but you got that. So now I'm gonna take this brush and a little bit of phthalo blue and white, which is this mixture on here, and I want to come here like that. I think I need something darker, some ultramarine blue here. That's this water line, and then we take some white, and there's some white that comes up here like this, see, in front of that. And there's some white that's doing on the inside of this. I just pinch the brush and then I just get a little paint here. Okay. Not trying to make this too complicated. Just easy peasy. Yes, yes, and yes. All right. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to do a clean brush and do the yellow daffodils first. I'm going to try it with just my cad yellow medium, because this is pretty light, and I think I can come up here, and I think that will cover it. I'm going to just go over the red a little bit. Now, yellow is going to need 2 coats, and if you're using, let's see, if you're using a student grade yellow, you're going to probably need 4 coats to get this to look right.
You probably want to put a
And
white
probably
down
put
first.
white down first.
Yeah.
I get new paint for each petal. Mostly. Try to anyway. Get some new paint for this one. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of orange with this yellow when I come in here, so it's just slightly different color right in here like that. A little bit of a see a little bit of a difference. And then there's some brown, there's some burnt sienna. I'm going to come across this leaf like this and put the back of the daffodil in here too. All right. Now this is pretty, it looks complicated, but it's pretty easy. So we're going to take a little bit of the yellow ochre and the orange together and mix a color. We're going to come up here and say that's this, a little bit more orange with it. That's this color right here. All right. There'll be a different color on the outside, but that's this color here. And I'm going to just do that. Okay. And this just sort of lays the groundwork for our picture. I'm going to do a little bit of white and raw sienna, or like that. Daffodil. Some dark brown in the middle here, like that. There you go. It's the dark brown part of the daffodil. Now, while that's drying, what I want to do now is take some ultramarine blue, okay, and magenta, okay, and I want to do something very dark under here that's slightly darker than my vase. You see that? And I'm going to come over here like this.
Now, what color did you use down there?
Just ultramarine blue and magenta. And I'm going to do some zinc white with it. So it's almost a purpley color. And this is where I want my smudgy brush. Want a little smudgy. This is a number 3, I think, and I'm going to make some circles. And so it just sort of blends out here like that. Okay. Don't quite have enough paint here. Okay. And then I'm going to get even darker with some purple and ultramarine blue here. There's my darker color, the shadow. And then I'm going to just do phthalo blue, and I think I've got to have my mixer palette now. Okay. Just come around here like that and do this. This dried a little lighter than I wanted. Okay. So I'm going to have that be a little bit darker. This is a little too dark. I'm going to do some zinc white on that. Let's try some titanium. Okay, that's too light. Okay, so something I want this darker than what we had it. Okay. And so I'm going to just kind of blend those colors together that I've got. Yellow blue. Yellow blue and white. Just come under here like that. There we go. I'm getting it. Knew I'd get somewhere in this like that. There you go. Put a little more phthalo blue in that. That's a good mix of colors. Okay, so that's our vase. And do I have any of these colors in here? No, I don't. But I do have we kind of lost my edge there on the vase. Did you see that? We kind of lost the edge. Want to do like that and curve that edge down here at the bottom. So, okay. And then the screen comes right up to here like that. All right, so we've done that. Now that's our, let's see, let's get that a little dark, kind of curve around here like that. That's dark under there. Okay, so we got some really nice contrast. Now, as long as I'm in the purples, I think I'm going to just do Dasani purple and white. And I want to come in here like that. And just put some purple on the brush. Purple and white, and you don't mix it.
Is that little baby bright brush?
That is yeah, that's a little baby bright brush by
Is that the golden maple?
Golden Maple. It's a 0.
Yeah, that's a nice brush.
Yeah, huh?
They got a good stiffness to them.
Yes.
A good spring to their step.
So you just put a little white and purple on the brush and you don't mix it. And then you get this sort of variegated, a little more white. Kind of the paint's kind of thick. See how we're doing that? And as we get it closer, we're going to do some magenta in that color. Going to add that up here like that. A little bit of white, a little bit more purple, magenta. It's a perfect brush for that, John.
Yeah, it really is.
They're
very happy with the golden maples.
Yeah, they really make a wonderful brush. A little ultramarine blue with that. There you go. You see how I'm just getting some petals are more blue now. Now we're just into the ultramarine blue here on the outside edge. We're just suggesting the flower. Wipe the brush off and just get ultramarine blue. like that. Lap those darker colors on there. And some of these are two-tone. And do a little bit more white on this one. Just some pure white now. Okay, so I mean, you would have thought that was a very complicated flower, but it's not, is it?
Not really.
So now I want something a little bit lighter, some highlights, because it's, acrylics dry darker, so same colors, but we're just going to do a lighter purple. See how that works? Make a little magenta with that. Make something a little lighter. Try some of that mauve and see what it does. Well, that's pretty. You should probably stick with dazing, though. That's probably the best. Just white and dazing, different variations of that. It's a very dark purple in here for the contrast. And this flower is dark. Okay. So let's try that. Now, as again, acrylics dry darker, so if you see any petals that need to be lightened up or you need to do anything, that's the time to do it. Like, for instance, zinc white is going to be a little bit lighter, but not so light. Right? And maybe you needed to do some zinc white somewhere. People always think you just do it in one shot, and I always say that there's layers to everything. Right? Just do a little bit of this color here. And then I still kind of like this one. All right. So while that's drying, let's do a little bit of the light green color. Let's pop a little bit of this light green color in here, like that. Another place. Here's some stem coming up. And then I've got some orange, yellow, orange color right up here on those, right like that. I don't know why it's there, but there. Can I put that color anywhere else? Maybe some lighter green right here. A little bit of green up here with the stem. So there's our flower. I think that's pretty good. Now let's go over um, the yellow flowers again. So that's where you do your second coat of yellow. You see what I mean? And then I'm going to put a little yellow oxide on these because they're a little darker. Okay. These ones. Maybe this one has a little bit of a shadow. And I'll go back to the cad yellow light. And I'm going to put some cad yellow light on these petals. And you can see how much lighter the flower is, right? And I'm going to do some cad yellow light on these ones. Okay. And some cad yellow light and orange for here. This inside one right here. This is the inside of this flower, like that. We've got some of this color here like that. We'll just sort of tap it around here like that. Okay. Take a little bit of the little tiny bit of red here and just do the petals like that. Some dark red in the middle. Let's take some pile red, dark red in the middle. And then we got some purple and red. And right like that. Okay. Just got a little bit of orange. I'm going to use this brush. And oh, I want to use one of those little tiny brushes. You know, the little tiny miniature ones. Where'd you put those?
You're talking about the makeup brushes?
Yeah.
They're in the blue. And that blue rubber thing at the top.
They're what?
You got 3 of them up there.
Up here?
Yep.
Boy, they're hard to see. You got so many of these brushes up here. Okay. You've got too many brushes up here, John. I can't deal with all these. I don't know what to do with all these, and they're just kind of just in my way. So let's.
Give them to me.
Yeah, these just gotta go. Okay, these can go in there or something, but this one here, there. I'll keep that one out. Okay. There. Now I don't have such a big pile. I can actually find the brushes.
So there is a point that you can have too many brushes.
Yeah, that's true. You can get too many. I'm going to take a little red now and swirl the around here. Just a little bit of whirling. And I can take a little yellow and do this. Just streak that in there a little bit. A little bit of yellow oxide right here. A little shadow. Some bright yellow right here. Okay. Then we've got some, now these are these little makeup brushes. They're eyeliner disposable. You get like, I don't know, 50 in a package or 100, I guess. And you can use them again and again, and they're wonderful for this kind of thing, for the little detail. So the only flower that really had a center was this one. And then we're just going to kind of define the flower with some dark green. You can go back and reshape a flower if you need to. Just get some dark green, and so you want these flowers to stand out here. You go back into the right around the daffodil here. Put a little water on it so it's gonna come around here like this and just fill in where the green goes. Okay. And a bit of phthalo green here. And that is just how easy it is to do this.
Even with a teeny tiny brush.
Using a teeny tiny brush. And like that. That's got this nice red center. And gosh, how would you would never guess that you could do a background that easily, would you? And you can use this brush for this kind of stuff too, by the way. You absolutely can. You need to, if you have more control with something smaller, don't be afraid to use a brush like this. And then I'm just playing with the lights and the darks here, but I want this flower a bit lighter. I want some of the more, get some blues in here like that. You don't have to, you know, sometimes people have trouble with detail, but if, you know, sometimes just change your brush. Try that. Try changing your brush and see if that doesn't help. I just want something dark up in here. I've got quite a bit of contrast. Before I finish it, I'm gonna dry it. I want to show you some stuff we're working on, John. Show a couple of paintings that we're doing that you might be interested in completing. Well, you guys, I don't think I can look at another commercial about how to unstop the toilet, or maybe you two can learn to draw. That, you know, we have to have those in our video in order to kind of cover some costs, but I thought it would be fun, as long as we were doing it, to put a commercial in for ourselves. So here's the commercial from me to you. I want you to have a wonderful day. I want you to be the artist you can be. I want you to get up in the morning and say, today's the day I'm going to be happier than I was yesterday. This is my commercial in wishing you the bestest, happiest day of your life. And art hugs from John and I. Let's show the paintings for our scholarship fund, what we're giving away too.
You have 4 there.
But do you have all the others? Yeah, these are some paintings right here. This is the was a painting we taught on in our website for our Purple members, and those of you who have been donating in the quarter, $25 in our quarter, which lasts us 3 months. When is it over, John?
May, should be May.
So you get in a drawing. We call it getting in the fishbowl, and you get in a drawing for these pictures. And you know, here's our sea captain, which we never did a tutorial on. And you know, we'll probably draw 5 or 6 names, and the first person gets for first choice of all the different picked paintings, and so forth. And then we'll have we'll mail these out to you. How about that? So we have an appreciation for the fact that you're supporting artists in our scholarship fund, and you can find more about it on our webpage. But you know, if you do $10 one month and 10
the next and 5 the last,
and they'll,
you got a ticket.
Whatever makes up 25 in 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever. And so and you don't know how the lives you're changing, and also you help to keep it covers a lot of stuff. It allows us to scholarship people in our academy and allow for personal art coaching. And it also allows us to keep going here on YouTube. So many things happen when you donate. So we appreciate it very much. And I'm excited about that. And I know a new release that's coming out in our academy. We talked about this one time, but we haven't shown it in a while. This was our book and cell phone still life. And let's see what happened there. Yeah, nothing happened there. Okay. And whiskey and stuff goes with our book collection. I think this is a really neat painting, and this will be a tutorial coming soon, coming to our academy soon. We showed this last week, but you may not have been here last week. And this is a new tutorial coming out for our Purple members, Lady in the Hydrangeas. We've got a beautiful challenge piece that goes with this that shows her reading a book that's a little more complicated, but I think this is really wonderful for spring. And so listen, acrylic painting with gingercook.com, and take advantage of our, looking through our I don't know, 700 videos of different things to paint. It's hard to believe, isn't it? And it grows every month. And you can't keep up with me, so you got to paint what you really love. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up this, and I got something on here.
Where did that come from?
Probably from my hand because it got dirty. I would guess. I would guess it's my hand that got dirty. But I love when stuff like this happens, because I can't be the only one it happens to.
It seems to be.
This is my handy tub of towels. And well, you give that a shot first. And that's not going to cover it. So, wasn't it wonderful that we know how to mix colors? So that's the key, isn't it? How do you mix the colors? Yes and yes.
Make them disappear.
Yeah, so if you have something like that, don't panic. I remember years ago, man, when I was sewing, and I was pregnant at the time, and I was making some maternity clothes, and I making this skirt. I made this skirt, and right before the end, I was ironing it, and I scorched it. I got a big scorch mark, and gosh, I was crying. I was carrying on. Well, I was only 23, and these things were life changing for me when I.
Devastating.
Oh my word! You guys can't know how upsetting that was. Well, maybe you do, right? Maybe you can guess. It was just absolutely horrible, right? So, I can't remember what I did to get that scorch mark off, but I think I was so upset I was praying about it. You know what I mean? And then you've got to be upset when you think that a scorch mark is important enough to pray about, right? But you don't know. When you get something like this happens to you and you see it and you think, oh no, that it's kind of like the end of the world. It isn't really, but you may think it is. Okay, and that's all right. It's just not the end of the world, particularly with acrylics. Now remember here, I told you we could do something. And, sometimes my videos run a little longer than I intend, and I just knock something on the floor, John. Here it are. Because, and the reason for that is I like it to be right. Does that make sense? I want it to be right. And I'm in my reference is there's a little bit of darker peach, kind of an orange peach color, right next to and a little bit of magenta in it, kind of this orange pink peach color, right next to the vase, right in here. Okay, so there's some of this color, and it's a little bit darker, and I told you we could do that. Once you have paint on, then you just very gently kind of you can get that contrast that you didn't have before, see? And you can take a smudgy if you want to. There are your smudgies, and here's just a big one, but just kind of fuzz out the edges, just white a little bit if you need to. And smudge it, just kind of smudge out the edges. Barely touch it. There it is. Okay, so that's an easy enough thing to do. And you didn't mess up a thing. Yes and yes. You absolutely didn't mess up a thing. So
Can't even tell anything happened.
yeah, it never happened, and you don't have anything about it. Never happened, that kind of thing, right? And
Painting.
I think it came out rather well, John. I guess that's the word I want. Everybody likes that. People like daffodils, and
Not like a daffodil. They're bright and cheery and smiley.
yeah, they like daffodils, and I think that this one came out pretty cute. And I think we've got some nice bright greens, don't you think so? It was important to have those bright greens. Like, for instance, right here. This was important to have some bright greens here and right here, like that. And some bright greens up here.
Does this go back to the old saying, where there's a light, there's a dark?
Yeah, and also because acrylics dry darker, you may have had the best of intentions, and I'm sure you did. And then you turn around and you're going, well, what happened? And yeah, maybe the brush was dirty when you've tried to put some white on it. But like, here's some zinc white right now. And I'm going to come up here underneath the vase and do something like that. There's the reflection. Okay. Okay. A little bit of a white right like that, right there. You could just there, see, so now it looks like glass. Yes and yes. And by golly, I think, dear friends, we have it.
Hey, it looks like the picture.
All right, let's put it in the frame, John.
And say gold on that baby.
And see how it goes, right?
All right. Like a champ.
Yeah, all right, let's get it in a frame. Maybe you got a gold frame, do you think? And we'll sign it and answer the last few questions you have. And encourage you to come back next week. I think we're going to be showing you how to use molding paste to make texture in a tree as our plan for next week. Something very different.
That's what we think we're doing.
That's what we think we're doing. Yeah.
Do the blue guy.
Okay. Right.
Oh, look at that. If that's not a museum piece, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that's an I don't know what. And because it's in the, I'm going to make this a little bit. I'm going to shrink the vase. See how it comes. The bottom of the vase comes right to the that. I'm going to just shrink this a little bit here. Just make that a little bit small, thinner. It won't affect the design, but it does affect the, it does sort of, that makes a difference. Yes, you see that? So, and then in the reference, it shows the white going inside this, but it would not go inside this. It has to go outside the vase. It has to do that. Okay. So there you go. This is what I love about teaching you something different every week. Whether it's bunnies for Easter or Easter flowers or summer flowers or landscapes or winds or Santa Claus or whatever we're doing. We have a lot of fun with this, and I hope you do too.
And a wide variety.
And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for participating, those of you who came in the chat. And if you came late, read the chat. We've got a group of artists that are anxious to share their knowledge with you too. And
the old Posca pin touch-ups.
yeah, well, you just never know, right?
Oh, I do with you. If it's in your hand.
If it's in my hand, I might just, There. Why not? Okay. Hey, you guys, love you. You want to come back up to me, and we're going to say, see you next week. Share this with your friends. Let's get some whole new people this year into watching our videos and sharing the joy of learning to paint. And love you guys, and have a great week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.